Welcome to the Underground Temple. My name is Hayashi. In this video, I'm going to unravel various meanings for the ritual salutation that often precedes and ends formal kata performance. There are many variations and interpretations of a martial salutation. Let's look at just one. If you can grasp some of the underlying principles in this salutation, you might understand some of the simplicities and complexities of various other forms of martial salute. It's best to view a martial action or gesture, like a kata salutation, as a whole body expression that represents unique practical, historical, cultural, and spiritual distinctions. Not just something exotic you do with your hands or torso. The essential kata of Asia that begin with a ritual bow, whether Chinese, Okinawan, Japanese, or otherwise, are not teaching us only to kick, punch, block, pressure point, or lock up our competition. Some of these forms went much deeper. Embedded in the movement sequences were important inner principles that often required decoding in order to activate them. This is not my opinion, this is a fact, and all the essential Asian forms should be taken with this gravity in mind. So let's peel away some of the mystery of one kata salutation. Many martial salutations commence with a simple hand salute, either coming before or after a formal bow, or rei in Japanese. This salutation can be a giveaway to the type of lessons and depth of principles embedded in a kata sequence. Just as there are nuances to kata's combative applications, there are also nuances to a form's opening gesture. In Asian martial arts, the left hand is considered yin, the yielding, the receptive, the sensitive, peaceful nature. The left hand takes in or draws from. The right hand, by contrast, is considered yang, the determined, the transmittive, the aggressive. The right hand puts out a response to deal with aggression. This symbology, using the hands, has a practical root. The left hand, often laid over the right, or in some schools pressed into the right fist, highlights the body's naturally flowing left to right bioelectric energy system. We have a mnemonic device then in a kata salutation, a key code of sorts that can guide us to where to focus our attention in kata work. Here are just a few interpretations of the martial salutation. On a fundamental level, most kata salutations express a simple martial philosophy. We show respect for our discipline, respect for the efforts of past teachers who created the forms we practice, and respect for the wisdom they contain. Karate is also a hidden power. You can't see another's martial skill simply by looking at their outward appearance. Thus, karate is an invisible or secretive skill. On the high end, martial arts is a tool for transcending conflict altogether. And so the open, peace-inviting left hand hides or conceals our creative and aggressive power represented by our right hand. Karate becomes one's secret. From the conceptual view, the kata salutation suggests that the core strategy for dealing with conflict consists of multiple methods of both hard, closed hand, and soft, open hand, techniques for physically putting an opponent down. At the high end, the objective is to put down the source of the aggression at its point of origin before any violence occurs. As an actual combative tactic, Some salutations offer us a practical technique. The idea is that if a fist is in your face or a fist is coming at you, you're to take your left hand, place it over the small two knuckles here, collapse the wrist, and bring the opponent down to the ground. Let's see how that would look with somebody. If a left fist or a right fist is in my face, we'll do a left fist. We're going to grab the wrist right at the wrist joint, right where the radius and the ulna attached to the wrist bones, and we're going to give it a slight twist to cut off nerve energy to the wrist. The open hand in the bow goes over the bottom two knuckles. We collapse the two knuckles and we're going to bring them down to the ground. If you do the application incorrectly by grabbing lower on the wrist and the person has a tight fist, even if you put your hands in the correct position, you'll see that there's too much resistance. But if you can get to the correct, please resist me as best you can on this. You go here and you twist and they go right down. Second, I'm grabbed. If I'm grabbed, the bow suggests the right fist comes up, the left palm, instead of on the left side, comes underneath. The hand peels out, and we place the opponent down by rotating the wrist joint. One more time on that. Fist up, grab, rotate. This can be done either with a right or a left attack. It does not have to be a left attack. He can be on this side with his fist. I can still do the collapsing action. Thank you. From a Qigong, or energy cultivating perspective, the salutation concentrates intrinsic energy, or Qi, as it flows down the conception vessel in the front of the body to the Dan Tian, the physical seat of power located at the belt knot. The body's energy field, or biofield, is condensed, coaxed by means of arm and hand motion, working in conjunction with the bow and Qi's flow over the top of the head. The timing is precise. The speed of the bow is slow and even, matching normal intrinsic energy flow. Noted Shorin-ryu master Shoshin Nagamine, in his seminal work, The Essence of Okinawan Karate Do, demonstrates how different kata begin with different salutations. Although Nagamine does not state the reason for this distinction, each salutatory posture acts as a key activator for the beginning bunkai of a form. In other words, the salutation charges up the physical moves that open a kata to make them more powerful. The bow and hand gesture is a ritual sacrifice to the earth, the source of our vitality. It's also an act of humility, a release of aggressions, a letting go of ego desire, an invitation to receive and refresh. As we bow, our energy is grounded or directly transferred into another person. Many kata begin and end with the Chinese bao quan, or fist-wrapping salute. In Buddhist-influenced katas, the hands will often form a gesture called the Anjali Mudra, also called the gasho. This is a formal Buddhist bow used as a greeting or a show of gratitude. In kata, this gesture is a symbol of creation, of creative energy. Between the opening and closing bow of a kata, then, we enact the creative and destructive powers of the universe. We give and we take, we empty and we fill, in a continuous cycle of aggression and peace, action followed by stillness, fullness followed by emptiness. Everything about a kata salutation is ripe with meaning. From a cosmological standpoint, the salutation represents unity, a unification not only of body and mind and energy, but the idea of living in harmony with the natural flow of life. We gather our limbs, sink the chest, calm the mind, fill the Dan Tian. Just as the sun's energy sustains our existence, our Dan Tian sustains our physical power and vitality. Our energy is circulated by means of the physical pumping action of the bow around the body's microcosmic orbit. Human life mimics universal cycles. We live and we die like the rise and fall of day and night. Our own energies continuously gather and disperse, focus and diffuse, expand and contract. From a meditative standpoint, the opening salutation is an act of gathering. Gathering the mind, gathering the body's energies, consolidating them, merging with the source of our being. At the end of the salutation, there should be a moment of silence, stillness, relaxation, and awareness before we spring forth into action in the kata proper to deal with the challenges it presents. At the conclusion of a kata salutation, one should also remain still, relaxed, and alert for a brief period. Too many modern practitioners discard the salutation as an unnecessary ritual, like a wrapper on a candy bar. It's of little value to a society focused only upon immediate and obvious gain. However, to true students of the way, the salutation's importance as a kata's spiritual and energetic bookmark can be of equal magnitude and meaning to the kata itself. Thanks for listening.